Dear viewers, you're welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, close to 100 health personnel are now known to be infected with COVID-19 in the Republic of Cameroon. A great proportion of the COVID-19 victims within the ranks of the medical corps working for health amenities in the littoral region of the country, and civil society leaders express deep concerns over the rising COVID-19 figures in the country. Brought together under the civil society COVID-19 unit, they are urging all to put hands on deck to fight the common enemy. Stay with us. Thanks, dear viewers, for joining us on this edition of the news. We begin with news on the COVID-19 pandemic in the Republic of Cameroon. Close to 100 health workers have been infected by the coronavirus, in the Republic of Cameroon, and over 42 of them are working for hospitals in the littoral region of the country. 20 of the COVID-19 victims within the rank of health workers in the Republic of Cameroon are working at the General Hospital, 11 at the Lakentini Hospital, and the rest working for other health amenities within the littoral region of the country. And globally speaking, on the national perspective, close to 100 health workers have been infected with the coronavirus in the littoral region of the country. 3,268 tests have been conducted, and 842 were positive. And of course, these figures and information from the littoral COVID-19 response team given today during the visit of the Secretary of State for the Ministry of Public Health in charge of the fight against epidemics and pandemics, Alim Ayatu, to some health infrastructures in the Republic of Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. Alim Ayatu was at the General Hospital, the Lakentini Hospital, the Ghanako Pediatric, and the Ghanako Pediatric Hospital in the littoral regional capital, that is in the Yassa neighborhood on the outskirts of the town. And he was also at the Nilon District Hospital, and he also visited the specialized centers created for the fight against COVID-19 by the government, notably at the Japoma low-cost houses in the Yassa neighborhood, Douala 3 subdivision, and the Mbapelepe Stadium at the Yassa neighborhood. The facility will take about 400 beds, and the Mbapelepe Stadium Special Center for COVID-19 will take over 184 beds. They will be ready in the next 3 weeks, according to the health officials working on that. Now take a listen to Alim Ayatu, Secretary of State at the Ministry of Public Health in charge of the fight against epidemics and pandemics.
I have just to verify effectively working in Douala, because they have a structure and medical system and assistant system by General Hospital in Douala, Lakentini Douala, and also then regional delegate in Douala is to take the problem and the care problem. I think is now I am very, very happy. The community in Douala, Town in Douala, take the problem also to make an effort to help the assistant in Douala. Okay.
Alim Ayatu, Secretary of State at the Ministry of Public Health of Cameroon in charge of the fight against epidemics and pandemics. Speaking there, he was also in the southwest region of the country for the same reason within the framework of the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in the Republic of Cameroon. Civil society leaders are expressing concerns over the increasing COVID-19 figures in the Republic of Cameroon. They were speaking to the press today under the umbrella of the civil society COVID-19 unit created to help in the fight against COVID-19, and that unit is headed by the Archbishop of the Douala Metropolitan Archdiocese of the Roman Catholic Church, Samuel Kleda, who is the president, and the president of the Cameroon People's Party (CPP) and member of Stand Up for Cameroon, Kabanwala Ejit, is the coordinator, and the other religious leaders are also members. Umaru Haman, who is the Imam of the Grand Mosque in Bonaberi Douala 4 Subdivision, Ebot Jones, president of the East Mongo Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church of Cameroon. He's a Presbyterial secretary, I think so. And of course, we equally have Bena Ona Tonyi, who is the rector of the Cathedral of Douala, Justice and Peace Ali Muhammadu Imam, preacher, Department of the Council of Imams and Muslim dignitaries in the Uri subdivision, and of course Philip Nanga, coordinator of Amonde Avenue, and Albert Mutudu, he is the president of UPC Maniden faction, and they were meeting today here in the economic capital Douala to talk about the fight against COVID-19 to the press and what they are going to be doing in the days ahead to boost the fight against the pandemic. Take a listen to Kabanwala Ejit.
See us coming together, it is because we are quite worried because the figures are rising and government has relaxed the measures which have given the population the impression that things are now fine. You know, when you feel that things are fine, maybe you don't wear your mask anymore, you are not worried about the distancing between you and others, and so on. We are also worried because this disease was confined to 3 cities, to Douala, Yaoundé, and Bafoussam, but now we know that it is in all of the 10 regions, and this is getting us quite worried. We will be on the field to sensitize the population. Secondly is that we want to coordinate our actions to be sure that we are more effective on the field. And then the third one is to improve the care when people get sick. So we have put into place a system, as you heard President Mutudu saying, where we go to the clinics and the hospitals to see what is actually happening there, so that we can draw the attention of government, we can draw the attention of the medical personnel. We are going to be having meetings with them as of next week, and we can draw the attention of the population to improve the care of those who are actually infected. And as you know, the Archbishop has a treatment which is already being dispensed in the Catholic hospitals, and so we are also looking at that aspect of traditional medicine and what it can bring to help those who are infected. We are legal entities who have come together to work together, so we have no hesitation whatsoever. We have already been on the field. We are already distributing materials. We didn't ask for government's permission. We are legal entities functioning in the country where we are legalized, so we don't have permission to ask from anybody.
And Reverend Ebot Jones Ayuk, pastor of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon and member of the Civil Society COVID-19 unit, says the government cannot fight COVID-19 alone. The church cannot fight COVID-19 alone, nor the civil society. And so all have to put hands on deck to fight the common enemy. And he says that special attention has to be paid to vulnerable groups of persons, including internally displaced persons who have been kicked out of their homes by the Anglophone crisis and are now seeking refuge in very deplorable and difficult conditions in parts of the littoral, the center, the west, and elsewhere around the country. Take a listen to Reverend Ebot Jones Ayuk.
Our country is desperately poor, with limited resources And if big economies in the world can crumble to the point where they don't know what to do, what about us, women and children, because of the unrest in the southwest and northwest region? They came over this way and into families who too are also struggling. Houses are small, more mouths to feed, limited space to sleep, and so on. And now coronavirus has come to compound their social problems. So how do we, these IDPs who have been uprooted from their communities, are the silent minorities. They have no voice, they have no hope, nobody's listening to them. And our social structure, our cultural structure, basically makes women and children to be voiceless. So how do we respond to their need in the face of COVID-19? It's a challenge that we have to confront with boldness and courage. And to do so, we have to listen to them as well. We cannot only be prescriptive, telling them what to do and how to behave. We have to listen to them to be able to identify their needs, and for us in the church to provide not only pastoral and spiritual support, but also to see how together we can respond to their social and economic need. So we have to come up with a strong advocacy for vulnerable members in our communities.
Collaborators of the CRM National President, Professor Maurice Kamto, piloting the Suivi Cameroon Survival Initiative within the framework of the fight against COVID-19, are now seeking the intervention of the Minister of Justice and Keeper of the Seals, Laurent Esso, in their initiative, as they have been hindered by several obstacles. Recently, they were at the Ministry of Public Health to hand over some COVID-19 material, but the material were rejected and they were simply sent to the Ministry of Territorial Administration. And should be recalled that the Minister of Territorial Administration, Atanganji Paul, had said that initiative was illegal, or is illegal because the those behind the initiative did not seek for authorization at his ministry before going ahead to organize their fight against COVID-19. We have details in this report compiled by Innocent Azi.
After Public Health Minister refused receiving COVID-19 material gifts from the Survival Cameroon initiative of the CRM party, headed by Christian Penda Ekoka, referring the donors to the Minister of Territorial Administration, who vowed to frustrate the movement. The president of the management committee now intends granting them to prisoners all over Cameroon. His wish is that the Minister of Justice and Keeper of the Seals does not behave like the Minister of Public Health.
Due to my very recent experience of the prison conditions in Cameroon, I could realize that our prisons are a highly risky environment, clearly exposed to the risk of the devastating effect of coronavirus. And that's why I thought that, in consideration of the high sense of responsibility of the Minister of State in charge of Justice, Keeper of the Seals, and knowing that he has a kind of special, concern about the preservation of human life, that I propose to him the donations of our products.
These are sanitation materials including masks, hand sanitizers and others meant for the prisons and inmates.
And clearly knowing that he has a special concern for the human life and the preservation of the human life of his compatriot, I don't expect him to refuse it. I will really be surprised to see that he's refusing something which is a gift for the benefit of our prisons and our prisoners. So I only hope he will accept it. I don't see why he will refuse something which is a gift.
This action of Survivor Cameroon comes less than 3 days after a report from the rights group Amnesty International called on government of Cameroon to take adequate measures to protect detainees from COVID-19.
Traditional rulers in the southwest region of Cameroon have expressed dissatisfaction with the manner in which the COVID-19 pandemic is managed within the region. They are not represented in the regional committee piloting the COVID-19 response, and they were speaking to our reporter Derek Jato during the third and last extraordinary meeting of the traditional rulers of the southwest region. Derek Jato reports on Boya.
President of the Southwest Chiefs Conference makes his entrance at the third extraordinary enlarged executive meeting in Boya. First, he will be briefed on the COVID-19 situation in the region by Chief Frederick, a special envoy from the Southwest Regional Delegation of Public Health.
Boya has registered 9. Kumba has registered 2. Now we've had about three deaths registered.
The reality is staring them in the face. They have been hit from 2 different directions. The Anglophone crisis took lives of thousands of their subjects, and today they are losing their people again, this time to coronavirus.
I therefore invite you to rise for a minute of silence in memory of the several lives we have lost.
Yes, the Southwest as a whole.
This Southwest response team member, with the use of a projector, explained to these Southwest traditional rulers the situational picture as of 24th April 2020, telling them that 31 confirmed cases of coronavirus has been registered in their region. On a rather dissatisfactory note, these traditional rulers strongly noted that any move for them without them is bound to fail.
But I'm saying that you have to include traditional rulers in this COVID-19 management board in the villages. I'm saying it because I have first-hand information. The committees you have there are not reaching the people squarely. If you don't involve traditional rulers, your results are going to be approximate. If you make it an administrative issue and the bottlenecks end it somewhere, you will not be meeting the target. The objectives will not be met.
COVID-19 is real. Chief Mafaninje Martin, President of the Southwest Chiefs Conference, begged the Southwest population to respect all the preventive measures laid down by the government.
That this message, the measures that have been put down, laid down by the state, the government, we should implement them. We should reinforce them in our local communities so as to save our people, because what we are saying is not the best. It's dangerous.
Everyone should hear about it.
And to his peers, all hands must be on deck to face the fearless enemy, the COVID-19.
Latest COVID-19 figures given by public health authorities during the weekly video conference meeting of the Interministerial Committee charged with the management of COVID-19 yesterday indicate that Cameroon is counting at least 2,265 confirmed COVID-19 cases. 1,222 have been successfully treated, and yesterday the country recorded 26 new deaths. The figures are increasing, and the worries being expressed here and there concerning the management of COVID-19 in Cameroon, and the figures that have continued rising, and the fact that the country is now totally engulfed by the pandemic. All the 10 regions of the country are now affected by coronavirus. On to something else now, to the Douala 2 municipality, where the mayor, Denis Fampu, is stepping up the fight against urban disorder. Several makeshift structures have been demolished at the Kululu market. Smanjig and Gabriel Small.
Bulldozers of the Douala 2 Council at work. This is the Nkolmitak neighborhood, which in recent days have been noted for the rise of insecurity. The bulldozers are destroying makeshift stores belonging to some women who did not only deal in the sale of cooked food, but also it's alleged they sell hard drugs to their clients, who later terrorize the neighborhoods. This provoked the youth of Nkolmitak to demonstrate on Sunday, May 3rd, 2020. It is as a result of this that the Douala II Council officials descended to Nkolmitak. It is to demolish these hideouts used by thieves after stealing from inhabitants. It is thanks to the forces of law and order that these hideouts were discovered. Apart from the aspect of insecurity, the zone was also an area that COVID-19 virus could be easily transmitted.
Nous pouvons voir que la propagation du coronavirus peut aussi être favorable à ces endroits.
The affected women, as a result of the demolition exercise, cried foul.
Aujourd'hui, ça revient sur nous.
Today, it's coming back to us. We contributed 5,000 each every month end to pay to the divisional officer. Today, insecurities on the rise. Our business places are scattered, places we use to send our kids to school. These women are saying they have been paying rent to the quarter head of the neighborhood, but the latter has refuted the accusation levied on him, pointing fingers at the blockhead. It is just a sabotage because it is not the first time such is happening. I ordered a head of block to put these people at that place that was bushy. I can't tell if he collected money from them because I had as an objective that the zone should be kept clean.
Il a demandé de mettre les gens au moins ce qu'on essaie de faire la propreté.
With the chief of Nkolmitak ferried to the gendarmerie office for questioning, the population of Nkolmitak believe with the demolition exercise they will at least breathe a sigh of relief. They will at least breathe a sigh of relief from the unknown men who usually attack them.
From Kolmitak neighborhood in the Douala II subdivision to Eboloa in the south region of Cameroon, where traders took to the streets protesting against the destruction of their business sites within the framework of the fight against urban disorder by administrative or council authorities of the locality. We have details with Immaculate Fogwe.
Traders of the Bolowalak market in the south region of Cameroon protesting following demolition of market stalls. The affected traders expressed discontentment, with many of them regarding the action as unjust. According to them, it will harm commercial activities in the region, which has already been badly hit by the coronavirus. I think it's not the right time for such an action. Coupled with the fact that things are not moving now, the coronavirus is equally having a negative impact on our economy. It is not normal. According to the first deputy mayor, Vondo Eya, the action is meant to beautify the town of Eboloa. We were elected by the population so we could do a great job by fixing the town. We had warned them several times to evacuate the site, but they were stubborn. We carried out the demolition process at night because we never wanted any confrontation. After hearing the news of the protest demonstration, the divisional officer of Eboloa 1, Elvis Akonji, rushed to the scene. When I heard the news that traders of the Bolua Central Market were on strike following the demolition of their stalls, I immediately rushed to the scene. We are in a state of law, so dialogue is the best option. A meeting has been organized by the divisional officer so they could discuss on how to address the issue at hand.
Talking Point is up next. Our guest today, a legal mind, Barrister Kia Emmanuel, is joining us from the Southwest Regional Chieftown, Boya. Barrister, you're welcome. Barrister Kia Emmanuel, you're welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, you're the legal counsel in the matter of journalist Abuwe Samuel Ajika Samuel Wazizi of CMTV of Boya, who has been detained for several months, over 9 months today, without any information being given out on his whereabouts or what is happening to him. But before we talk about that, let's take a look at what is happening to one of your colleagues, Barrister Agbo Bala, who has been under disciplinary pressure from the University of Boya and the Ministry of Higher Education for setting examination questions on the Anglophone crisis. His contract with the University of Boya has been terminated on grounds that he set questions on the Anglophone crisis in violation of laws of the university and the teaching core. What do you think about this, Barrister?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. We are getting you 5 on 5.
Yeah, the first thing is that the dismissal the exact context of arbitrariness is an act that has to be examined within the context of stifling intellectual debate. And it is an act that has to be examined.
We having some connection issues there with Barrister Kia Emmanuel, the legal counsel into the matter of journalist Abuwe Samuel Ajika in the southwest region of the country. Some connection issues there, and he was reacting to the disciplinary pressure against Barrister Agbo Bala, former lecturer now, because his contract with the University of Boya has simply been terminated after he set examination questions on the Anglophone crisis. Barrister Kia Emmanuel is, of course, managing the case of Samuel Wazizi, and yesterday the matter was on the table at the Faku High Court in Boya, but the habeas corpus request of the lawyers of Samuel Wazizi was simply dismissed on grounds that the habeas corpus petition was filed in violation of some legal rules. It did not, the right laws were not quoted according to the judges, and the lawyers of Samuel Wazizi have said they will file in another habeas corpus petition. It should be recalled that he has been detained for over 9 months without any information circulating on his whereabouts. He has been detained incommunicado, and nobody knows whether he is dead, he is alive, what's happening to him. Unfortunately, we're going to put an end to this edition of the 6 p.m. Primetime Newscast here. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. Goodbye.